Another myth. There's a myth that there are armed terrorists in East Ukraine. What I have seen so far is a real civil war. Something that you do not see in the movie. We are used to this Western ideas of violence being romanticized. We are used to this idea of superheroes, of computer games where people shoot at each other. What did I see? I saw real fathers and sons standing on the same barricades, protecting their own villages. I've seen wives bringing supper to the same men and sons. I have seen volunteers go to the front line directly from the 9th of May, from the Victory Day. It is one of the most important days in the whole East European culture. This day is, by the way, forbidden these days because you're considered an extremist if you celebrate 9th of May. So it is a real civil war going on there. And there are volunteers who are holding the line. And there are much fewer of them. Now, what can we say about the democratic new government in Kiev? How democratic is it when it allows for fascist groups to be taken into the official new army? Real nationalist groups, which were supported for many years, are now part in the leading roles of the army. What can we say about the government which allows blockades and sieges of cities in such a way that it is hard to evacuate even the children from the cities? And you might imagine cities with 100,000 people, hard to evacuate, and yet in the same time a city under siege, so that even people are not able to import insulin into those cities. There are actually people lying in coma in those cities because there's a shortage of insulin. How democratic is such a government? Now, we are talking about human rights and human rights violations in Europe. This is a popular subject. And yet, how democratic is a government which disallows leftist, socially oriented parties within the government, which persecutes political opponents and murders them? How democratic is a government where it is allowed to set a price on heads of political opponents just because they have a different opinion? Can we talk about genocide? The people in East Ukraine who have demanded their own independence, they are in fact targeted systematically, and they are targeted purposefully for the national beliefs. Every day we are lucky if we lose only 10 or 20 civilians. This is when we are lucky. This is when we do not have an occurrence like in Odessa, where hundreds of people are burned alive. This is where we do not have a